Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango, Delhi ground, readability check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Delhi ground. Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango. Read you 5. How do you read?
Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango, Delhi ground, read you 1. How do you read?
Delhi ground. Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango. Read you 5. How do you read?
Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango, Delhi ground, read you 4.
Read you 4. Victor Tango Mike Echo Tango.
Okay, Meet, very good morning, good afternoon. I hope you're prepared. We will be starting with your part 2, Viva, to see where you stand, and then we'll go on to part 1, practice. So please assume or imagine that you're in the exam center and just a basic interview. So whatever you can imagine, let's see how great that is.
Yes.
Okay.
So am I audible?
Yeah, read you 4. That is good. Okay. All right. So we'll assume that you're entering the exam room for Viva. Remember, you'll be very courteous. You'll say, "May I come in? Thank you for having me. May I have a seat? Good afternoon, good evening." Okay. Rest
Yeah.
everything, I'll just brush up on your body language and everything. Right now, just focus on the questions and answers. So it'll be
Yes.
2 examiners, one now and one later. Who's who you don't know, but just focus on the questions.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, Meet, tell me something about yourself.
So good afternoon, sir. My name is Meet. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Bangalore, and I've just finished my class 12th 4 months ago. And I've been interested in the aviation field for the past few years, and I'm happy to be here in front of you.
Okay, Meet, why are you doing RT?
Sir, I'm doing RT so that I can hold a valid RT license to continue with my flying training and apply for a job later on in the future.
Say again, why are you doing RT?
Sir, I am doing RT so that I can hold a valid RT license to continue with my flying training and apply for a job later on in my future.
What job?
So an airline pilot's job.
Okay. What is the full form for RT?
So RTRA stands for Radio Telephony Restricted Aeronautical.
Okay. What are the types of RT?
Um, Sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
Types of RT license.
So there are 3 types of RT license. One is RTRA, which stands for Radio Telephony Restricted Aeronautical. There's RTRC and there's RTRP.
Okay. What are the full forms?
Um, Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the full forms of the other 2, but I'll make sure to get back and look into it.
Which publications will you get information related to RT?
Sir, I iCAO Doc 84, sorry, 9325.
That's it?
Um, yes, sir. And also iCAO Annexure 10, which talks about um, communication systems.
Mm-hmm. What about
And
Indian publications?
so DGCA CAR section C part 3.
What's it called?
Um, I'm not sure, but I think it is called uh, radio telephony.
Which series you said? What section of DGCA? CR?
So
What section?
CAR section 9, series C.
Okay. Where will you get information on personal licensing?
So personal licensing, ICA Annexure 1.
What about Indian publications?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I'm not very sure about that.
What do you mean by DGCA?
So DGCA stands for Directorate General of Civil Aviation. It is the governing body which takes care of all the regulations related to aviation in India, as well as the safety requirements for aviation in India.
Where are the headquarters?
So the headquarters of DGCA are in Delhi.
Where in Delhi?
Sir, Delhi Palan.
Who is the present DGCA?
So the present DGCA is Mr. Vikram Devdutt.
Mm-hmm. Before,
Before Mr. Vikram Devdutt, it was Mr. Arun Kumar.
are you sure?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
Who's the Minister of Civil Aviation?
So so I'm not sure about the current Minister of Civil Aviation, but I can tell you who was the previous Minister of Civil Aviation.
No, I want to know present one. You don't know?
Negative, sir. I'm not able to recall it at the moment.
What is the priority of RT messages?
So the first priority of RT messages is given to distress calls or mayday calls, followed by the second priority, which will be given to pan calls or urgency calls. Um, then third priority will be given to the calls related to aircraft safety, flight safety, and the fourth priority will be given to um, sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the fourth priority. And the fifth priority will be given to uh, calls related to regulations.
See, you can always think about priority with respect to the level of attention a situation will need. So, okay, distress, urgency also has urgency, medical, before urgency, pan medical, you missed that. Then there are more category of messages that generally we don't address as categories, but they are. Flight regulatory messages are basically air traffic control related messages. Anything to do with regulations and law if it's impacting FIC numbers, ADC numbers, and other things. Then flight safety messages. Now, urgency distress aligns with flight safety messages, but other than urgency distress, anything related to flight safety. Then there is
Mhm.
one more called direction finding.
Mhm.
In case you don't know how to go to your destination, you can easily ask for a QDM and fly a magnetic heading, always. Something that we learn in general navigation first lectures. So those are the categories. Next time you see, be aware that you connect the categories not just to mug up things, but to understand the chronology. Where direction finding, where regulatory, where flight safety. Those are the three different ones. It's very
Sure, sir.
important you don't miss this because this is RT, right? And these are priority of messages in RT. If somebody's doing distress, if there's a distress call, and then there's a mayday call, and there's a direction finding call, and if all calls are related to the same ATC, then who'll get priority? Distress will get priority. Everybody else will have to wait.
Yes.
So that's the whole point. There are three emergencies, but that priority will be going first. Others will have to be like hold on for some time. What do you mean by AIRAC?
So AIRAC stands for Aeronautical Information Regulations.
What is IRAC? AIRAC. Is it a publication?
Um, I'm not able to recall it at the moment, sir.
What do you mean by RDARA or MWARA? Hmm?
Um, Negative, sir. I can't recall it.
Why? Have you not studied? Okay, how are air traffic routes named?
Air traffic routes.
Hmm.
So we follow air traffic rules clockwise
Not
from
rules, routes, routes.
routes.
RTE. What do you mean by location indicators?
So location indicators are four-letter unique codes given to every aerodrome. So the first letter stands for the AFSRA region, AFSRA code. So in case of India, it is Victor. And the second letter shows represents the FIR region, and the third and fourth letter represents the actual aerodrome. Um, yeah, the actual aerodrome.
What do you mean by FIR?
So FIR regions are flight information regions. There are five unique FIR regions in India. Delhi, which has a code of I, India. Mumbai, which is Alpha. Chennai, which is Oscar. Kolkata, which is Echo. And there's a sub FIR region, Guwahati, which also is Echo.
What's the difference between FIR and FIC?
So FIR stands for Flight Information Region, and FIC stands for Flight Information Centers. And FICs are located in the uh, um, so sorry, sir, I'm not sure.
What is the definition of urgency?
So urgencies are medical emerg sorry, correction. Urgencies are emergencies declared on ground or air by
This
the
is this is not the definition. You're doing RT and you don't know the definition for second priority of calls. Why? What about distress? Can you define?
distress are the um, calls. Distressed calls are the calls given uh, are the calls that are given the first priority, uh, and they're emergency calls
Okay,
which can be
it's
done on
fine.
ground or in air.
It's fine. Thank you. You can go to the next, sir.
Okay, so,
Okay, Meet.
then
So quickly name any radio navigation systems. Name a few.
sir, VOR, DMEs, and NDBs.
Explain their purpose. VOR, DME, and NDB.
So VOR stands for VHF omnidirectional range. They basically help determine the position of the aircraft with respect to the aerodrome. Uh, and DMEs are basically distance measuring equipments which provide you with the distance with respect to an aerodrome, or how close or how far you're from the aerodrome, inbound or outbound. And NDB stands for non-directional beacons.
What's their purpose? NDBs.
Sir, um,
Okay, what's the principle of VOR?
sir, it works on the principle of um, just a second, sir. I'm trying to recall it. Just a second. VOR works. Uh,
Okay, how is NDB and ADF related?
sir, ADF is basically automatic directional finding. It is relate. It's related with NDBs, but um,
What is the difference between VHF and HF?
so VHF stands for very high frequency. HF stands for high frequency. VHF is used for close range communications compared to HF. HF is used for long distance communications, and VHF has better clarity in audio compared to HF. Um, H, yeah, the frequency for VHF is 118 is between 118 to 137 megahertz, whereas for HF it is from 2 megahertz to 22 megahertz.
What are these frequencies? HF, VHF? What is the frequency band of VHF and HF?
Um,
Okay. How do you explain? What do you mean by critical ray?
so critical ray is the ray transmitted by a transmitter which goes up to the ionosphere and gets reflected back to a station. So it's the first ray that reaches back to the station.
From
With
where? What are you talking about?
So it's the ray which is being transmitted by a ground station or an air station,
Like
which
all stations will transmit it? VR stations, NDBs,
so no, it's transmitted by a ground station.
which station?
Um, Sir, I'm not sure, but I think it's VOR stations.
Mhm. Where do you come across the critical ray? At what concept? Where? What are we talking about?
Sir, radio waves.
Mm-hmm. What about radio waves?
Um,
Everything is to do with radio waves here. They're right there. But what about radio waves? We're talking about propagation of radio waves.
right.
Propagation of radio waves generally we study with respect to voice communication first, because HF is mainly and only used for voice communication, and HF has skywave propagation, and critical ray is a part of skywave propagation. So the transmitter is HF transmitter, HF voice communication transmitter. It cannot be VOR. No, VOR is working on line of sight. So it doesn't go through skywave or ionospheric refractions, total internal refraction. So a
Mhm.
critical ray will never be there in VORs. Maybe somewhere during the design of the system, somewhere, I'm not sure, in electronics engineering, maybe they might have a different kind of critical ray, keeping a 5% possibility there, being literal and honest. But otherwise, with our reference, Critical ray is only a part of skywave propagation when you are using HF waves for communication. HF, VHF, MF, not VHF, say again. I say again, HF, MF, and LF. Okay, low frequency, medium frequency, high frequency. These three waves can first propagate via surface wave propagation. Surface wave is following the surface of the earth
Mm.
on ground and on sea. On sea, they can travel further because sea has more electrical conductivity and it gives a boost to the electrical component of the radio wave. The problem with surface waves, it gets affected by obstructions, mountains, buildings. So, so it is not very clear, but it will always be there wherever you're transmitting it. HF is good for us, but surface wave HF is not that great for us. LFMF, wherever needed, we can use it, but now we are growing. Communication started with low frequencies only, Morse code and all. Slowly,
Mm.
slowly, we discovered more radio waves into that application and segment and behavior and properties. We categorized them. And then we saw their applications. We realized that, okay, they need different transmitters, they need different propagation methods.
Mm.
But the agenda is same to transmit wirelessly. I don't need telephones. I need the conductivity of the atmosphere. Engineers and scientists and inventors, they knew there's electrical conductivity. How do I tap into it? If I can transmit voice through a wired phone,
Mm.
then how do I? Everything is to do with electricity and electronics. So how do I use Earth's electrical conductivity for wireless transmission? We are taking it for granted, but 120 years down the line, when when Mr. Tesla was talking about remote control devices, it was like sci-fi. So Marconi was there, he was dealing with it, Tesla was dealing with it, there are a couple of more guys dealing with these things. What did they do? They tried to study this and they were able to study this, and now we just have to read and understand. We don't have to invent something. If you go in an exam where you don't know where critical ray is, where you don't know the principles or purposes carefully about these basic systems, it's just that, okay, you take some more time, get to know the industry and concepts, feed it into your awareness, not just for the sake of exam. Eventually, you'll get there. People will just say, oh, he's too young, maybe he'll get there. He just started, he'll get there. Nobody's going to doubt your uh, interest or whatever honesty you'll have. It's just that, okay, he'll understand. But why not do it upfrontly only? Why not do it right now? So you have to be very careful. All the topics, all the questions that you have been asked today, you should be 80 to 90% accurate about them, minimum.
Yes, yes,
So you should
I'll.
be careful for the next time. So if you don't know what we're talking about, propagation, if you don't know which transmitter, take some more time, have some clarity, ask, learn, and then try again. That should be how you should be approaching. So critical ray, so when I'm going to transmit, let's say this is my curvature of the earth like this. This is the diagram we see. There's one transmitter, one receiver. I'll keep transmitting to the ionosphere at all angles. I'll start with 90 degrees straight up and I'll do clockwise like this, angular measurement, just like I do for my general navigation. And I'm there on the receiver end waiting to see if a signal has come or not, just like cell call or something. I just want to
Mhm.
see signal has come or not. So I know the frequency. I'm transmitting at certain HF frequency, maybe 3 megahertz, 5, 3 to 30, right? For communications, the frequencies that you gave were communication frequencies. They were not HF VHF frequencies. You could have clarified. HF VHF communication, we use these. Anyway, so I'll pick up a frequency, let's say 3 megahertz. And now I want to see when do I receive it. Okay. So I keep shooting it to the ionosphere. This angle, 0 degrees, nothing. Slowly 10 degrees, 15 degrees, nothing. 20 degrees, nothing. 25 degrees, okay, I got a reception. So I'll go back. 24 degrees, no reception. 24.5, no reception. 25, okay, so 25-degree is the first ray that is giving me my reception. That is my critical ray. So all my transmissions for this particular long range communication or ionospheric propagation or skywave propagation, the signal, 3 megahertz radio wave signal, should be sent at an angle of 25 degrees. Only then it will be received. If you want to increase the range, increase the angle further beyond 25, but don't decrease it. This is true for a certain area of the certain time of the day where ionospheric layers are at certain layer. Evening time it will change. So evening frequencies will be almost half of the morning frequencies or daytime frequencies. Sundown frequency down by half for HF communications. Remember this. A very simple thing to remember, a simple thing to understand, and a very important thing for your vivas. So this critical ray will decide. Now, daytime ionospheric layer was high because of ionization and everything. Maybe nighttime it's gone a little low. So this angle is not going to give me the reception again. I start over the same again. 90 degree, 0 degrees basically. 10, 15, 20. Then I'll realize if I want the same angle, then I have to change the frequency. If I use the same frequency, then I'll have to change the angle. Now, a big expensive hardware of an antenna cannot be changed. It is not modular. It has to be fixed to sustain environment, weather, years and years and years. So we can only change the frequency. So where 3 megahertz was giving me at 25-degree critical ray, night time, I want 1.5 megahertz at the same angle, almost half.
Okay.
Only then the same reception will be there. Otherwise, you put 25, it might overshoot or undershoot or escape. We don't know. Now coming back to the series of questions. So when I say critical ray, you should be able to imagine all this. That's when you have justified your learning. It's all about your learning. Qualifications are a proof of your learning. It's not like a government, अच्छा आपको ये permission के लिए चाहिए तो आप ये 10 चीजें attachments. What are attachments? That's just proof of competency. Okay, you have fulfilled the requirements. So we think about it. So from critical ray, I'm jumping. Tell me, what do you mean by skip distance?
So skip distance is the distance between where the sky wave and the surface wave, like the empty distance between where the sky wave and the surface wave have transmitted.
By definition, you're right. We go back to the same understanding. So LF, MF, HF can propagate through surface waves and HF can also propagate through sky waves. So when I'm radiating this particular frequency, let's say 3 megahertz transmitting at critical ray and so on, at the same time, this signal is going to that, we'll take this as our antenna here. So this signal is going till here. And at the same time, naturally, even without taking any efforts, a surface wave component is also going here. The surface wave component, wherever it ends, based upon its limitation of surface wave propagation, and the distance between the reception of the first critical ray, that distance is skip distance. That is dead zone, dead space. So skip distance is different, dead space is different. Skip distance, you can say it is something to do with how much distance is covered by the ray in one refraction. One skip, we can say one hop. HF can do multi-hop also. Dead space is what we are trying to understand when we say the difference between where the surface wave ends to the point where first critical ray is received. It is the same frequency.
Okay,
Same frequency because HF can propagate two ways. So same HF surface wave में कहाँ तक जा रहा है? Same HF sky wave पे कैसे जा रहा है जो preferred है? Sky wave में कौन सा? First critical ray. First ray. That distance is dead space. So HF, what is it doing? Although with HF, sky wave is giving you reception from this point onwards. Okay. Surface wave is giving you full till this point also by default. Wholesome. HF doesn't do that. HF is line of sight. We can take traces and remnants of HF. Are you following?
Yes, I'm following.
Are you sure?
Sure, sir.
So what is skip distance? What is dead space? Simple definitions. You need clarity on that. That's it. You read, understand, ask doubts. That's it. You need personal clarity. Then you're able to explain easily. So skip distance and dead space. It looks confusing, but you have to understand, okay, the comparison between HF propagating via skywave and HF propagating via surface wave at the same time. Okay, what do you mean by modulation?
So modulation is the superimposition of an audio signal over a high frequency carrier signal.
Do you want to give it another try? What do you mean by modulation?
Sure, I'll give it another try. So modulation is the superimposition of a modulating signal or an audio signal over a high frequency carrier signal.
What do you mean by EM wave?
So EM waves are electromagnetic waves. It has two components, which is the electric component and the magnetic component. Um, they A few examples of EM waves can be X-rays, HF, VHF.
What do you mean by polarization?
So polarization are basically of two types: vertical polarization and horizontal polarization. So a wave is said to be vertically polarized if the electric component is vertical, and it's said to be horizontally polarized if the electric component is horizontal.
Why do we need polarization?
So polarization, um, it's it's needed so that if the receiver antenna is vertically polarized, then um the wave should also, sorry, if the wave is vertically polarized, then the antenna should also be vertically polarized in order to receive the signals. And same goes for horizontal polarization as well.
Okay, explain ILS with a diagram.
Okay, how do I show you the diagram, sir?
First make it.
Okay, I'll should I send you a picture?
First make it, yeah.
Okay,
You can show me on screen also while making whatever.
sure, I'll do that.
You can use digital whiteboard also if you have provisions.
Sir, I can.
Where,
I don't think I'll be able to draw with the mouse, so I'll use my pencil.
yeah, you can do AirPlay on any note app and use your fingers also. Everything is possible. Try paper and pen. In the exam, you'll be doing paper and pen.
Sure.
If you're drawing something and want to explain in real time, you can just show like this.
Okay, I'll do that.
Quick, okay, running short of time.
Sure. So ILS stands for Instrument Landing System. Um, it has three parts. One is glide slope, one is localizer, and the other one is marker beacons.
Hmm.
So the marker, I'll draw a diagram of the marker beacons and show it to you.
Also draw the related aerials and the distance from the runway.
Sure, sir. Sir, I've drawn the diagram of the marker beacons
Mm-hmm.
with respect to the runway,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and it's located behind the runway, behind as in when the aircraft is approaching towards the runway.
Okay.
We'll draw the glide slope or a glide path indicator. The second diagram I've drawn, this one, it's
Mm-hmm.
the glide path,
Okay.
and localizer is basically located around 300 meters behind the runway, and it helps in maintaining the center line
Mm-hmm.
while landing.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically looks like this. Just a second. So this one.
Mm-hmm. What is this? The third one?
So localizer, it's
Okay.
located 300 meters behind the runway. So somewhere here.
Okay. How about glide path aerials?
So glide path is located towards the left or the right of the runway.
Okay. What's the principle?
It's used for maintaining the glide path angle, the glide slope. Um, yeah, it's used for maintaining the glide slope. So while landing.
Okay. Have you ever seen ICAO flight plan?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Sir, iCow Doc 8, um,
Where do you find aircraft call sign? Which item number?
sir, item number 7, it has 7 boxes. It shows the aircraft identification.
Where would you see the name of the pilot in command?
Sir, item number 19er, uh, supplementary information.
Okay. Fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Okay, Meet. How was it?
Sir, it was okay, according to me. I could have done much better. So I have around 20 days for my exam. So I think I'll be able to prepare for my part 2
Mm-hmm.
within 20 days.
Mm-hmm. Prepare what and prepare how? What तो पता चल गया है. How पे थोड़ा ध्यान देना. You just have to have clarity on concepts and you're good to go. And you're there. It's not like you're not there. I think थोड़ा if you increase the focus and expect a little more from yourself, thinking that I have built a good base and let's become an expert. And from that perspective, if you look and prepare, then maybe that'll help you. Just that intent, nothing else. So keep yourself at a better level with respect to where you are as a student. Okay, I'm giving you that authority, basically. Okay, so think that, okay, you have to take care of some juniors. So you're a leader, like that, group captain or something. Okay, I'm going to give a demo to everyone, like to you, of course, and anyone who's benefiting. Uh, I'm just going to go by all the questions and tell you how to start and give you a brief focus and make mental notes. Okay.
So can I write down the notes as well?
Yeah, but make quick notes. I'm not going to dictate. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Sometimes I can go slow. I
Mm.
hope you have a glass of water, please. Feel free to have water. I'm not giving you a breather. It must be too exhausting to have a 30-minute Viva.
Sure, so I'll have my water bottle with me.
Sure. Good. Okay. So talking about self, I think it's a first good self. It's a first self when you're given a good thing about it. We can always say about our life and talk how did we come to our present life in anything when people say about our life. So I can say that, okay, my name is Meet and I'm born and raised in this city in India. And this is the year I finished my schooling and then my 10 plus 2 and then my graduation, whatever my education is. Um, the whole what drives me in life is career and family and friends. So with career, I've always wanted to do this since I was at this age. So so I'm here today as one of my stepping stones towards having the ideal career where, I can do good for my passion and my family. Other than my career, that is aviation, I like to spend time with family, fitness, workout, music, hobbies. That's pretty much. I like to keep things nice, interesting, exciting, adventurous. And so looking forward to the next 5 years and see if I can realize my dream. Whatever I said could be very close to you. You just have to fill in the gaps. Why RT? Why RT? Well, it's not just RT. It's everything included as prescribed by DGC and ICAO. Why RT first? Because I want to understand the whole scope of an everyday operation of a commercial pilot's life from the perspective of a PIC, which is best achieved in an exam situation scenario and pattern that WPC has and DGC has. I got to know when I understood the subject, and it's just only going to help me understand the language and understand everything that I'm going to see ahead in my career. And RT is a consolidation and amalgamation and a union of all the other subjects together that I will be preparing with for CPL. Like there's regulations, there's methodology, there's navigation. So yeah, that's why RT. And yeah, because it is supposed to be one of the most challenging exams. So yeah, I would just want to see how good I am without having flown. Can I be like that? So yeah, something on that sort. Not just RT, I'm studying navigation also, this also. So yeah, everything one by one, slow and steady. For me, the knowledge is more important because I want to understand everything before I touch the plane. So that's my intent. So that's why RT, it's one of those stages. Full form of RT, radio telephony restricted aeronautical. RT is also called as COP, Certificate of Proficiency, which makes RT license a dual document, a license to operate frequencies as prescribed by the category of the license, here aeronautical frequencies. At the same time, it's a certificate of proficiency, proving that or certifying that you, the holder, is proficient in aviation radio telephony. It's a thing. We have to learn it. It's the best thing in the world if we can learn it because we're going for the COP. Types of RT, three. Good job. Good presence of mind. C is for general, P is for permit, and C is for certificate. That's it. There are four actually.
Okay.
RT, yeah. So publications for RT, you will give ICAO docs and annexures and CR sections. All three.
So was the
So
doc correct? I was not sure if it was
Niner
correct.
432, I think it's incorrect. And you cannot say wrongly because it's manual of RT. We are learning from manual of RT. I've shared manual of RT with everyone. We have seen it so many times. So be an expert and complete the memorization of these things in your own way. Today's agenda should be that only. Principles, names, and keywords and everything. Part two, get it out of your way by this weekend. That's it. ज़्यादा मत खींचो. Push yourself. Monday, give me a final part two mock.
Mhm.
ऐसा कुछ प्लान है पार्ट टू का आपके लिए. So
Sure.
publications will be ICAO Doc 9432 NX12 having 5 volumes. These two will have standards and practices for radio telephony. Along with that, Indian Civil Aviation Regulations, which is my prime for Indian Civil Aviation. I'll find it in Section 9er. What is Section 9er? You first say the name and then series and part. Carefully look at the documents I've shared. If you don't have, I'll share it again. The list. There are two radio telephony. One is voice communication, second is navigation systems. So do not be confused. Whenever you're saying numbers in Viva, use RT lingo, RT language.
Mhm.
Okay, don't say nine, say niner.
Right. Okay.
Don't wait to give extra information or mandatory information. Don't wait to say DGC or don't wait to be asked to be saying about DGC documents or CR.
Mhm.
खुद से पहले वो बोलना है.
So was that correct? Section 9ers,
I think so.
DC.
I think so. Cross check, na? Questions
Mhm.
are there with us. I think
Sure.
so. Personal licensing, ICAO NX, and DGCA section. Very important. Come on, you're doing CPL, you don't know. Personal licensing, people can always question and, you know, play with your mind, and you'll feel just very bad in the session and will not be able to deliver then on a mock day.
Mm-hmm.
Where's DGC headquarters? Delhi. Give proper address. Safdarjung, something. That word should be there. Okay. You cannot just say Delhi Palan. No, be specific. Two words, one words.
Okay.
Hmm. उनके वेबसाइट पे फोटो है यार. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Present DGCF fine. I'm still to verify what you had asked me to, but makes sense. Minister of Civil Aviation. Come on. You need Minister also and DGC also, because our DGC reports to Minister of Civil Aviation.
So because I had gotten multiple answers on Google for
It's
Minister of
not
Civil
just
Aviation.
Google, huh? You share, you, it's okay, I'll share with you, but you cannot be confused and you cannot say Google. You have
Mm-hmm.
मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया का वेबसाइट, उस पे सब मिलेगा ना. सोर्स तो अच्छा ढूंढ लो.
Mm-hmm.
सिविल एविएशन डीजीसी पे मिल जाएगा. कितना ही टाइम लगता है? डोंट से गूगल. गेट इनटू इधर गवर्नमेंट का वेबसाइट और डीजीसी वेबसाइट, दैट्स इट. वहां का रेफरेंस लो आप.
Okay, sir.
विकिपीडिया शॉर्टकट देगा आपको, वो शॉर्टकट से इंटेंस रिसर्च कर सकते हैं वाया वाया जाके लिंक्स.
Mm-hmm.
वहीं नहीं रुक जाना है. बट ठीक है, तो चेंज होते रहते हैं. हरदीप सिंह पुरी थे, उनको पता नहीं अब कौन सी मिनिस्ट्री थी. आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल. यस्टरडे ओनली ही वाज ऑन न्यूज. आई लाइक उस दिन मिनिस्ट्रीज एविएशन से संभाल रहे थे, आज ये संभाल रहे हैं. कैसे मैनेज करते हैं मिनिस्टर्स? लाइक इट्स अ बिग डील.
Mm-hmm.
For them, they're not trained with aviation and everything. Still, they have to manage the ministry. Imagine how difficult that is.
That's right.
Jyotiraditya Scindia was given civil aviation ministry.
Right, right.
या so अभी किसके पास है? मिनिस्ट्री किसके पास है और डीजीसी किस कौन है? दो अलग
So I
चीजें हो
knew
जाती
about
है.
Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, but I knew that he was not the present minister. He was the previous one.
तो ये चीज तो आपको एग्जाम के 2 दिन पहले भी चेक करनी जरूरी हो जाती है कि ये लोग चेंज तो नहीं हुए हैं.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
कभी भी कैबिनेट रिशफल होता रहता है. कैबिनेट रिशफलिंग इज लाइक रीअसाइनिंग मिनिस्ट्रीज टू डिफरेंट मिनिस्टर्स. सिंपल.
Okay.
तो इनके बिना कुछ होगा नहीं. दे आर द अप्रूवर्स. ओके. These are simple things. We cannot be, stuck with not knowing answers to such obvious questions. एक में से दो में से तो एक होंगे ही ना.
Mm-hmm.
There's an organization manual also. DGC का खुद का एक manual है. When you go ahead, you'll realize that people working in DGC are so important for you. So it's better you understand and slow and steady build your contacts.
Sure, sir. I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Next question. Priority of messages. Please go through your notes. It's not perfect. Distress, pan, medical, pan, flight safety, flight direction finding, right, regulatory. I think that's how the flow goes. Please verify. Iraq is not a publication, it's a system of communication. Come on. Notes are shared. Notes are shared. You cannot miss out on these things. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm following.
Yes. See.
I was just trying to search for it.
Yeah, see. So you have named the folder to Note Bank. And what was it? Iraq, na? So part 2 Viva book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to clear part 1 and not clear part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So please take it seriously. And don't think 20 days, think about today and do it. 20 दिन मत सोचो, कभी कम लगेंगे कभी ज्यादा लगेंगे. नहीं, थिंक अबाउट कौन से कॉन्सेप्ट पे कितनी क्लैरिटी बची है नहीं बची. एक एक को मास्टर करते जाओ. इतना मत देखो सिलेबस. एक एक को भी मास्टर किया बहुत है. इवन इफ यू एंड अप मास्टरिंग 15 out of 30, आई विल बी वेरी हैप्पी.
हम्म,
वो बहुत सही रहेगा, उसमें इजीली विल क्लियर, बिकॉज 15 पे एग्जैक्ट है और बाकी 15 पे 50-50 भी रहेगा, सो योर एग्रीगेट वुड बी हाउ मच? इट वुड बी 70%।
हम्म।
स्मार्ट। समझ रहे हो ना मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
Yeah, sir.
देखो एराक, इट्स अ सिस्टम डिजाइन टू इंश्योर दैट अगर आईकाउ लेवल पे कोई बड़ा चेंज आया है मेरे रेगुलेशंस में, फैसिलिटीज में, तो उसके बारे में मैं पूरी दुनिया में सब लोगों को कैसे बताऊंगा? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए किसी का एक्सीडेंट हो गया बिकॉज उसके पास इन्फॉर्मेशन लेट पहुंच गया। एक नावेट चेंज हो गया और उसको पता ही नहीं है, वो नावेट के भरोसे जा रहा है, वहां पे वो नावेट था ही नहीं, तो बेचारा क्या
हम्म,
करेगा फिर? सो इवन इन द रिमोटेस्ट एरियाज, if there is a person, then it's an system for aeronautical information regulation and control. That AIS unit, AIS units, all information is given by aeronautical information service parameters. Okay, aeronautical information service parameters.
हम्म,
So read this. Information of this type should be distributed in advance, 42 days in advance of effective date. पहले ही 42 days पहले, before the change is going to happen. And it
हम्म।
should reach people within 28 days of its start so that they can prepare.
Okay.
And 56 days. These are the three ones. So go through it carefully. Define Iraq. Is it a publication? Yes, no. AIS is very important. NX15 is very important. Iraq is very important. Have some clarity. Read and understand. Tables are there. See, NX10 is here. Everything is given. They'll ask you things. Okay, fine. Flight, I think flight safety message is also there. MWARA, DARA, you didn't say anything. Come on. See, MWARA, you can give 3 to 4 pointers here. You don't have to say everything. Major world air routing areas for HF communication. Aircrafts which are outside of VHF range. It is so related to what we do. Why will they not ask? So जो हम long distance बोल रहे हैं, those areas where we have long distance capabilities with ATC are called MWARA. Areas. They look like this, something like this. See, overlapping like FIR regions.
हम्म,
India is a part where this here, see, Lahore, Delhi, Kathmandu connected. See, it's like a pie diagram or a Venn diagram, a different sort of. Everything is overlapping. इतना communication मैंने बनाया है अब तक, मैं अगर एशिया के थोड़ा ऊपर चला जाऊं, कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है मुझे। समझ रहे हो
हम्म,
आप? टाइपे भी ऑब्वियसली वहां पे है, बट रेंज में नहीं दिख रहा है, डेफिनेटली होगा। एंड RDARA is regional domestic air route areas. See, they have given explanation about FIR also. See, regional and domestic air route areas. It is for voice transmission, single sideband with upper sideband. Simple. There are HF also, VHF also. These are areas where we'll have voice transmissions with HF and VHF both. MWARA only HF where VHF is not there. इतनी भी क्लैरिटी आप उनको बोलोगे फुल फॉर्म के बाद, बहुत है।
हम्म,
समझना चाहिए, सब दिया है यहाँ पे। सर ने भी सिखाया है क्लास में। You don't have to memorize the frequencies, but see the unit of HF radio frequencies is kilohertz. See the frequencies.
okay, okay.
See 1000 का हाफ है 5600, 8900 का हाफ है 5520 और 55 का भी हाफ है 2820. So we have assigned fixed frequencies at a very big range so that कैसा भी ionospheric level, so ये most often चली जाएंगे हमारी। ये नहीं तो ये नहीं तो ये नहीं तो नहीं। That's why HF frequencies change. Altimeter settings and also, come on, yeah, master it and be very careful. Let's quickly get done with the practice. Yeah. How are routes named? Routes are named with one letter followed by three numbers, 0 to 9 9 9. Class में सिखाया था ये. Domestic routes will have whiskey followed by any numbers, and international routes can start with any letter alpha onwards. Any
Oh, okay, okay.
suffix, any suffix after the route number can be east, west, north, south. Generally, it's given as east or west. बस। और
Sir,
क्या
I
है?
actually did not get I
Question.
did not get, yeah, I did not get the question. I thought you asked that who who names the routes, or like how is the process behind naming the routes. That's why I got stuck there.
It's only common for us as students and genuine students, I would say, to think that I don't know something. But what
Mhm.
about what you knew connected to this question? You could have answered. You would have been right.
That's right. Yeah.
This technique you always use. If you know something related to question even this much, and if you don't know this much, it's fine. Acknowledge you're not able to recall perfectly. That's it. But then say what you know. Say. You have to be your advocate there. You have to be, whether right or wrong, you have to be the advocate. You have to do a job. Even criminals have lawyers who will do their job and try to defend them, right?
Mm.
So we are not criminals. Okay, we don't remember something. It's not a sin. But we are taking responsibility. I like that. I really appreciate it. But in the exam, no, you cannot miss out on a chance. So roots, I don't know how they are named, but name and roots. Okay, I do know what roots look like.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the names. See, it will come to you. Why not? You have solved so many charts. Why not? So instead of thinking, oh, I don't think I know this. Okay, what do I know about it? Let me say that. Let them say, "Arey, tum chup ho jao." At least I would say something right. Location indicators can be better. ICAO location indicators or designators are four-letter codes all across the globe. All aerodromes are represented universally using this system. On flight plans, representing every aerodrome is done using this only. The system is very simple. We have 22 areas that show us the main difference between all location indicators and areas.
Mm-hmm.
The four-letter code, the first letter is the FSRA, and these are the areas called Aeronautical Fixed Service Routing Areas. They will have a letter from Alpha to Zulu, except these four letters. You have to know which are the four letters that are not there.
Mm-hmm.
These four-letter codes in India, we have Victor, the first letter, it will show Victor AFSRA. It's not just India, but there'll be neighboring countries also. So all the aerodromes will start with Victor. Alpha, Echo, India, Oscar. Second letter will be for FIR or country, depending upon whether the country is big or small.
Mm-hmm.
Last two letters will be aerodrome designators, either synonym or related to any of their old or new ground stations. Together, this is how we report, write, talk, understand which aerodrome to go to. And it also becomes easy to track if I'm not gone to a place, if I'll just look at it and I'll know how to track the aerodrome.
Mm-hmm.
Then you give the docs also, whatever references you have in your notes. Your whole
Mm-hmm.
notebook on location indicators. Okay. It's like just me talking. This notebook, this book four, it's just me talking. And I thought कि I'll just make it in a book for everyone to understand. यहाँ वहाँ से compile करके अच्छी अच्छी चीजें. One of our students got Nepal. She was not sure, but she did understand. But it did instill panic in her first attempt and all. Yeah, so see, what are ICAS location designators or indicators? What is the description? Simple.
Mm-hmm.
Delhi FIR also has a code VI. People don't know that. VIDF, VABF, VECF, VOMF.
Mm-hmm.
तो यार इट्स इजी सी एक बार दो बार रीड कर लो ना देखो ना इधर जानबूझ के नाम लिखा है ताकि समझे कि सर ने खुद लिखे हैं ऐसा मत समझो कि कोई दूसरी टेक्स्ट बुक है और बोर हो जाओ डॉक 79er 10 79er 10 दो दो बार रिपीट करा कहीं भी काम आ सकता है लोकेशन इंडिकेटर्स के हिसाब से ये देखो सारे एफ एस आर एस कितना अच्छा डायग्राम है फॉर आवर ओन अंडरस्टैंडिंग
Mm-hmm.
विच लेटर्स आर नॉट देयर आई जे क्यू एक्स इंडिया जूलियट क्यूबेक एक्सलन दिमाग में आई एन ओ रह जाता है अल्कोहल वाला
Mm-hmm.
ध्यान रखना है कि वी नॉट मिक्सिंग इट कम ऑन So please, ये obvious questions. So all these questions are pretty obvious. Here you should expect nothing less than 95, 90, 85 from your own self. What is FIR? Fine. FIR region was fine. You could have said a little more. FIC, FIR, you did start good. It was a very trick question. Difference, you're like, sorry, I don't know. But you did know. You can say the offices are called centers. one office and the whole area is called region. People sitting at FIR regions are actually seated at FICs, and FIC overlook the whole of the air traffic network also. So
Okay.
VHF has ACCs. ACC will be overlooked by FICs. FICs are like the CEOs,
Okay.
like multinational CEOs, like heading five companies. ACCs
Mm-hmm.
are like one company CEOs,
Okay.
like
Okay.
like like investor or group owner. I'm not getting the word right now.
Got it, sir.
Mm. So try to explain in your own words. Have some clarity. That's it. Missing a little clarity, nothing else. Clarity in explaining, not even understanding. I wouldn't doubt you like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definition of urgency and distress. How many times I've taught this? Pick it up from manual of RT or abbreviation doc, mug it up,
Okay, sir.
and use that keywords. Okay. So these all were like WPC for you.
Mm-hmm.
DGCA, RN systems, VOR, DMEs, NDBs. VOR, DME, you don't say distance, you say range. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Position with reference to aerodrome was a good use. Principle, please by heart. There's a summary page booklet.
Sir, I did
ADF, you
read
don't know.
yesterday, but
ND,
I was
sorry.
sorry. I said I did read the principle yesterday. I was not able to recall the keyword, so I.
आज इन पे ही काम करना है मास्टरी पे बस. आज तुम्हारा वही टास्क है करके खत्म
Mhm.
करोगे अच्छे से. इट्स ओके टेक योर टाइम है तो प्रैक्टिस चल रहा है. आई एम नॉट एट ऑल एंग्री विद योर परफॉर्मेंस इट्स वेरी गुड. यू आर ऑलमोस्ट देयर वाला सीन है. ऑलमोस्ट देयर से काम नहीं चलेगा बट सो फार सो गुड इज गुड.
Okay, sir. I'll.
Yeah, zero complaints but good areas of improvement. Work on them and then you'll not need me also. ऐसा हो जाएगा. So that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
ADF से कैसा related है? So ADF is onboard equipment, NDB is ground-based equipment. Together they give me the ADF का whole system, where ground-based system will give me omnidirectional range, LF, MF पे, and ADF onboard sensor loop antenna, sense antenna will give me directional reference in the form of relative bearing through switch cardioid. इसमें principle भी आ गया, system भी आ गया, parts भी आ गए, difference भी आ गया, connectivity भी आ गया, सब आ गया. तो लूप एंटेना लेता है ओमनी डायरेक्शनल सिग्नल्स फ्रॉम ईच एनडीबी एंड सेंस एंटेना बताता है वो सामने से आ रहा है कि पीछे से आ रहा है और वो स्टेशन से मेरा हेडिंग से रिलेटिव बेरिंग मेजर होता है आरबी.
Mhm.
VOR magnetic radials out from the station. These are all principles keywords. You use these words. Simple.
Okay.
ये लगता है डिफिकल्ट डिफिकल्ट है नहीं. VHF and HF difference. There are many differences in VHF and HF. The frequency band difference is the first difference. HF is from 3 to 30 megahertz. VHF is 30 to 300 megahertz. Second difference is in the way of propagation of radio waves. HF waves can travel with surface wave and sky wave, while VHF can only travel
Yes.
line of sight.
Okay.
There's a difference in the formula for range. HF is square root of 2 into square root of power in watts and 3 into square root of power in watts, 3 over sea, 2 over land.
Mhm.
VHF formula is 1 decimal 23 into square root of transmitter height in feet
Okay.
plus square root of receiver height in feet. This is one difference. Another difference is VHF is also used in a lot of radio navigation systems other than voice communication, while HF is not highly used in navigation but only for communication.
Mhm.
VHF has generally three VHF systems in an aircraft: VHF 1, VHF 2, VHF 3 on any wide body aircraft like 321, 737, the most frequent flyers,
Mhm.
servers to people, while HF has generally two, HF 1 and HF 2. Polarization will be different, modulation will be different. Okay. Vertical wave or horizontal will be different. Antennas will be different. Position of antennas will be different. Then HF has cell call. VHF doesn't have any cell call. But
Mhm.
VHF has better clarity than HF. वो लास्ट में बोलना है क्लैरिटी. लेमैन की तरह पहले नहीं बोलना है. दिल पे लगे एविएशन की बातें करो ना. Clarity is for our own understanding.
Okay.
Then you can say one HF frequency cannot be shared with two stations because of the long range, but VHF can be shared whenever the range is done. Just like
Mhm.
FM channels, the same channel will transmit different people, different songs in different cities.
Right.
But all India radio is like HF, only one frequency serving the whole country, like
Mhm.
that. कितने आगे VHF HF डिफरेंस बोलो नहीं पता तो इनमें से शायद एक या दो नहीं पता होंगे बाकी तो सब पता ही था.
Mhm. Right.
Good. Don't say close range. Say short or wrong. Short range. Close is not the word we use. Close range. Close range is used in wartime.
So sorry, could you say again?
Close
Close
range is a
range.
lingo for war communications.
Okay. Okay.
Like basically short range, long range. When you say close range, then it becomes like personal.
Okay. Okay.
Communication is not personal. Communication is like public, you can say. What we are doing is public.
Mm.
Public transport, right? Close range, we don't use, so don't use that word. It's okay. It's just like use short instead of close.
Okay.
Frequency bands clarity I need. It's basic. Critical ray you have understood. I'll need some confirmation on whether you have got clarity on these three. Modulation definition, not good. EM wave definition, not good. But polarization was good, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Modulation is a process. So first, I'll give you a definition. Modulation is a process of superimposing an audio frequency, which is our voice, generally, or any signal we want to transmit, on a high frequency carrier wave. Let
Mm-hmm.
me explain it in simple words. I want to send a voice communication message to Delhi Aerodrome from Mumbai Aerodrome. I'm trying to shout, but my voice is not going to reach. But I want my voice to go in real time. So this is where my audio frequency of my voice, just like a passenger getting on a plane, my voice will get onto a carrier frequency. The process of doing that is called modulation. It can be
Mm-hmm.
done through a lot of ways. Amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, phase modulation, key modulation, and one more modulation maybe. So depending upon that, I'll put my wave on this, modulate, optimize, or what is the word? Amplify, then send it, then receive it, extract it, demodulate it, amplify, crystal
Mm-hmm.
clear, then put it from a speaker for the other person to hear. So modulation will have turning my pressure waves, that is my sound, through a microphone into electrical signals, sending that to the whole transmitter in which there will be modulator. From the transmitter, it will be sent in the environment, then receiver will receive it, then receiver will do almost a reverse thing.
Mm-hmm.
इतना खुद से समझो, खुद से समझाओ. Definition भी, meaning भी, then types. I can either use an amplitude of the radio wave to pass my signal. I can either use the frequency of the audio wave to pass my signal. My intelligence is in my audio frequency, so it will manipulate that.
Mm-hmm.
That will not be manipulating me. It is just a carrier. That's why we call it carrier wave. समझ रहे हो आप? That's modulation. Now, instantly you can hear me. It's because somebody invented microphone, which is doing nothing, converting my sound vibrations into picture perfect electrical signals. It is being transmitted from the microphone. It is getting transmitted somewhere through the wire into the system. All the modulation and transmitter is in the system. Yeah, this is just a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
From there, instantly it's connected through all wireless and wired thing and coming to you. In your system, it is entering the receiver and demodulator, and it is going through all the wired things and coming out to you via the speaker, the same pressure wave. The
Mm-hmm.
pressure wave is connected into electrical signal, and the electrical signal is again converted into pressure wave, and a speaker will then make it sound the way a human voice does. Imagine, we take it for granted. Speakers are like they go for the price of empty glass bottles,
Mm-hmm.
microphones and speakers, because they're made in abundance. But I could not have thought about it if I was an inventor. So that's what we are learning. Why not learn it? Why not understand it? कोई नींद में से भी उठाएगा तो हाँ, why not? It's simple. So that's modulation. How can we not talk about modulation properly when on a day-to-day basis we are using mobile phones, wireless communication? Explain ILS with diagram. Three different diagrams. Good. Localizer aerial is ahead of the threshold and abeam the touchdown zone.
Mm-hmm.
200 meters and 300 meters.
Okay.
Okay. So like this. So you make all three in the same if this is your direction of flight. This. So you also remember the color of lobes and the frequency of modulation, 90 hertz, 150 hertz, both. Localizer, good. This is your localizer. You said 300 meters. It'll give me two lobes. Equisignal, center line, difference in depth of modulation is the principle. Then glide slope antenna will be ahead of the runway, okay, and abeam the touchdown zone, TDZ, like this, somewhere here, either right or left. So maybe this is 300 and this is 200. Check vice versa also. I'm not sure. I want you to check and correct it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
From here, I'm getting a signal. Okay. So I'll show you in simple words. I'm showing you in rough. Go through notes and verify it for accuracy. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my localizer. I'll make my. I'll use no. Okay. I'll wait. I'll take neon green color. From here. Okay. From here, अगर मैं साइड से देखता हूँ ऐसा मेरा रनवे. So if this is my aerial for my glide slope, then it is going to send signals like this to my glide slope. One signal like this, okay, and then lot of small lobes like
Mm-hmm.
this. So my plane, if this is my plane, then if this is your plane, like this, okay. So one of the equisignal will be your required 3 degree or 4 degree glide slope angle. Not the upper one, but the least one, the most lowest one. एकदम नीचे वाला होता है जनरली बिकॉज बहुत स्लैंट होता है हमारा. और ये फॉल्स होता है, फॉल्स सिग्नल, फर्स्ट फॉल्स आईएलएस सिग्नल.
Mm-hmm.
सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज at the same time. And there's one more thing that you showed. I don't know why you're emphasizing so much of marker beacon. Generally people take it for granted, but I liked it. That was good. You can always say it's radiation pattern. एक यहाँ हो गया, एक यहाँ हो गया, एक यहाँ हो गया. इसका रेडिएशन पैटर्न ऐसा होता है, कोन टाइप मेनली. साइड से देखोगे तो आप इनके भी डिस्टेंसेस बता देने आपको, टोन बता देना अच्छे से.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes my localizer angle, antenna, sorry. This becomes my glide path antenna, and this becomes my marker beacon. Inner marker, middle marker, and
Outer marker.
outer marker. देख लेना इसमें 90 हर्ट्ज कौन सा और 150 हर्ट्ज कौन सा है,
Mm-hmm.
और कलर देख लेना. बस पक्का हो जाएगा दिमाग में. ICAO flight plan, good. Good thinking. Item 19 are good. I think your master flight plan, but the document of item ICAO flight plan, it's on the added notes. It's
Yeah.
simple. This 4444. See,
Okay.
I'll show you the added notes on flight plan.
Mm-hmm.
Flight plan 3.1. See, ICAO doc 4444. सामने ही है. These are handwritten notes. Don't go on the date. I like to date every time I'm writing something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all current. If it's changed, then we'll know. Read this document, okay?
Yes, sir.
RPL, types of flight plan, everything. It's golden. सबसे short में दिया है extra information. So understood? So from what I did with your questions and what you did, we see that in a way अच्छा ही किया है, सब पता था, but in a way कुछ के बारे में नहीं पता था. But in a way
Mm-hmm.
it can be done. It's easy. It's not difficult. You need clarity of understanding. तुम्हारा ability of saying back में कोई इतना issue है नहीं. So self quest तुम्हारा ये होना चाहिए कि you have to master all these whatever today I have studied and don't feel mastery over. पूरा master करना है. ओके. पहले ये करेंगे फिर दूसरे करेंगे सेम लेवल से.
Okay,
तो
sir.
ये आपके हॉटस्पॉट्स है सारे आज के. परफेक्ट करके खुद से एंड पुट योर सेल्फ in that shoe that you are a group captain of the juniors and now you feel like a leader and do like a leader and see if it improves the ease with which you can develop quality learning for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
20 days के बारे में मत सोचो, 2-3 दिन में पार्ट 2 खत्म करना है ना. सो आई एम थिंकिंग I'll tell you, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you be ready basically.
Sure, sir. I'll be ready.
Chalo. Any questions?
Negative, sir. No questions. Is it possible if you could share me this screen that you're displaying,
Sure.
that
Why not?
so that I can focus on what to master and
Sure. Why not? What else? I'll tell you about part one, practice.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, just focus on this. Part two, pehle, will get out of our way. Part one, you're not that, nothing to worry, just get it done with. Simple.
Sure, sir.
What else? How do you feel? Part two, Viva.
Sir, I feel okay, sir. I'm a bit underconfident right now, so I really need to work on part two. Part one also, I need to work on because looking at my last mock, I feel that I need to practice part one as well. But yeah, as you said, part two, I'll finish it off first and then I'll focus on part one.
बीच में तुम 1 घंटा 2 घंटा पार्ट वन प्रैक्टिस करो चलेगा बट 8 से 10 घंटा पार्ट टू पे दो है ना
Okay. Mm-hmm.
क्योंकि पार्ट वन का क्या आ जाएगा डिस्ट्रेस के डेफिनेशंस प्रायोरिटी ऑफ मैसेजेस रूल्स ऑफ द एयर के कुछ डेफिनेशंस पार्ट वन से रिलेटेड ही है तो पार्ट टू में तो आता जाता रहेगा आपको सो वो तो माइंड में रहेगा सो डोंट डिफरेंशिएट थिंग्स फर्स्ट गेट दिस आउट ऑफ योर बैक प्रैक्टिस में दिक्कत नहीं होनी मेरे को लगता बिकॉज योर बेंचमार्क्स आर गुड सो लेट्स सी I'll surprise you with part one mock anytime. Mostly not today, but anytime I'll surprise. I'll say meet. If able, come for an hour. Let's practice. Surprise. Let's see surprise में कैसा करते हो आप
Sure.
है ना Anything else you need, want?
Negative, sir. Nothing else. I'll just make sure to look into whatever you've told me to.
If anything's bothering you, feel free to share and do what you're told effectively. नहीं हो रहा है तो keep me in the loop. If you need
Okay.
anything extra, just let me know and I'll try to make it possible.
Mm-hmm. So,
ठीक है
one more thing. Uh, are we going to have a mock, like a practice mock, one day before my exam as well? Like, is it possible?
Let's hope that we are not that occupied to not have time before that. It'll be too
Mm-hmm.
much of a hodgepodge. But we'll connect before your exam day. Don't worry. We can do anything you want.
Sure. So, because I'll be traveling to Hyderabad on my exams on 10th, so I might be traveling on 8th. I'll be driving there, so it might take me a whole day. So I'll reach on either 8th night or 9th morning. So,
No worries. Just give me your dates. And when you're driving, na, de-stress. है
mm,
ना? De-stress while you're driving. That'll be nice. Don't be anxious of reaching. Just enjoy the drive and forget everything. That'd be nice. Nice idea. Okay. I don't know, yaar. I would have loved to meet students in Hyderabad, but I'm not sure if I could make it this exam session. But we never know. But yeah, no worries. Just give me your itinerary and we'll be planning to keep you ready. That's always the plan. Well before exams. कि एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले आप ना भी बात करो तो चल जाना चाहिए. You should have that freedom.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want, we'll do it. Don't worry. Sure, कितना ही
Sure.
टाइम जाएगा? We can do it sitting anywhere also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. चलो, finish your task. All the best
Thank you, sir.
and enjoy the ride. Even if you don't clear the exam, think about how much you have learned, how much you need to learn. That's it.
Sure. Yeah.
So no pressure. At the same time, increase your level of confidence. मेरे को करना है.
Okay, sir.
And it will stem with clarity of concepts, okay?
Yes.
Chalo, all the best. Job well done today. Let's see
Mm.
how you do.